Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Perks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you so much for the work you've done during the day with several of us to bring that consolidated motion that addresses a number of the dimensions of the pandemic that we're all struggling to try to find the right answer for. I want to address my remarks to two. Councillor Wong-Tam mentioned the shelter system, and of course pointed out correctly that that's the result of a long period of neglect by all orders of government. But I happened to be reading through the city's budget, which came out on Thursday, in the affordable housing portion. And I wanted to share with members this one set of numbers. This is the amount of money being spent in the city of Toronto over the next 10 years on affordable housing by the three orders of government. The city of Toronto is spending $810 million. The federal government is spending $158 million, and the provincial government is spending $3 million. They've also shortchanged us on the money necessary for the staff to support people who are in supportive housing, which is where an awful lot of people who are currently in our shelter system will likely wind up. They refuse to give us permanent and ongoing funding for that, even though providing health supports is the responsibility of the province of Ontario. I am not proud of the record of the city of Toronto. Like Councillor Wong-Tam, I have been part of a group of councillors who have been trying to get a more robust response to homelessness for over half a decade now, including pre-pandemic. But I am appalled, disgusted, reviled, and heartbroken by the response of our provincial government, who has simultaneously walked away from its responsibility on housing, walked away from its responsibility on health, and has created an eviction mill, or turned the landlord-tenant tribunal into an eviction mill. It shocks the mind. And I think we all need to be mindful of that. And I think we need to be clear with Torontonians that the province of Ontario, who has responsibility here, is doing next to nothing. On the matter of schools, we find ourselves in a similar position where we're debating whether it's right to send kids into an unsafe school system or right to keep them home. We should be, all of us, all orders of government, all Torontonians participating in an effort to make the school system safe. That's what we should have spent the last 2 years doing. We should be looking at some of the Northern European jurisdictions where they have managed to keep their schools open by investing heavily both in the physical infrastructure necessary to make the schools safe and in the practices to make the schools safe, keeping small cohorts separate, which are separate from each other, so that if there's an infection, a small cohort gets dismissed. Having regular testing, having regular air filtration and air cleaning at a high quality standard of quality and care, having all the protective equipment and training and support necessary within the school system. I feel so sorry for the frontline staff, the City of Toronto, and in the Toronto District School Board and Toronto Public Health, and our shelter system, and in the shelter systems of the various not-for-profit agencies who offer them, who are having to patch together with Scotch tape and string systems to cover for the fact the province of Ontario has failed in every dimension of being prepared for and handling this pandemic. I've had enough. And the fact that the Premier thinks he can just drive around and shovel snow today as some kind of compensation for his deep failure just makes me angrier. Thank you.